Hello, my name is Abe, and welcome to Crying Suns. I've been looking for a new game to play for some time, and I think that Crying Suns is a good pick. Gameplay-wise, it has a lot in common with FTL Faster Than Light, and I've played enough of that game for a several hundred video series on YouTube. If you didn't watch the Let's Look At for Crying Suns, and you don't know what FTL is, that's fine. Crying Suns is an exploration tactical rogue-lite where you command a battleship traveling across star systems, uncovering the secrets of a vast galactic mystery. Let's just jump into the game, starting from the tutorial, reading all of the extra dialogue as well so that we can just learn as much as we can about this universe that we live in. Where am I? A dwarf planet on the Outer Rim. Most call it Gehenna, if they call it anything at all. This admiral is a top-secret cloning facility for the Imperial forces, the one and only of its kind, and I am Caliban, its Omni-Guardian. Cloning definitely gets around the whole, well, how does a new run in this video game actually work? You know, in FTL, when you start a new run, you just start a new run from the very beginning, and there's no real continuity. I guess there's actually going to be continuity in this game. Also reminds me a bit of Everspace, because you are clones in that game as well. I don't understand. You have died, Admiral. Or to put another way, the true version of you has died. You're his clone, identical to the original Ellis, Idaho in every possible way, with some minor differences. When did Admiral Idaho die? How? Unfortunately, I do not know the details of my clones' lives, as interesting as they must be. Extraneous to my directives, I believe. Which leads me to why I've awoken you. You must be curious after all. I need your help. A machine asking for my help. Now I truly feel strange. Not just a machine, Admiral and Omni, short for Omni-Mechanical Neo-N Intelligence. Emperor Oberon invented us. Now your kind relies on us for just about everything. I'll come right out with it. I believe the Empire is in danger. In danger? What in the name of Oberon are you talking about? Interesting that they use the name of their emperor as I don't know what you call that specific thing where you use someone's name as not a curse, but you know, what in the name of Jesus Christ are you talking about? Oh my God, you know, like a deity essentially. Oh, Deity Oberon. Although I have to wonder if Admiral Ellis Idaho here thinks of him actually as a deity, or maybe he's just, you know, part of the establishment. Maybe he's just an Imperial soldier who does what he's told and he loves the Empire. Once every 4 years, under the most secretive of protocols, I receive a single transmission from Elysium, our capital. Those transmissions stopped arriving. So you send a transmission yourself. I don't see the problem. That's just it. I can't. This facility was built in such a way to prevent it from initializing contact with the Empire, to keep it a secret. Something is wrong, I am certain of it, and I've awoken you so that we can fly out of here, in an Omega-class battleship no less, and see for ourselves. We? I believe you'll find my intelligence indispensable for our mission, Admiral. I don't have your kind's limitations. If you're so smart, what do you need me for? Why don't you command the battleship? Because of Oberon's Rubicon, it prohibits Omnis from commanding battleships. War is a human prerogative. So, 3 laws? Also, since I can assume the clones here are the best of the best, that would make you the best Imperial Admiral to ever exist. I'd say you're perfect for the job. That's actually a very good point. If the best of the best are located in this facility, then we are the best Admiral for the job. There's no real reason for this AI here, who might not be programmed for battleship flight or command to command the battleship himself. I'll do it, machine, for Oberon and the Empire. It's my duty as an Imperial Admiral. Him and that duty, maybe that's going to get us into some problem later. Excellent. Now just one more thing. Standard operating procedures require I ask, can you recall any of your emotional memories? Emotional memories? Any memory linked to a strong emotion like love or hate. These memories, because of their complex neural pathways, will be a bit trickier for you to access, I'm afraid. I'm not sure. Then if you would do me the honor of trying to recall one, any emotional memory will do. I can't. So much is blurred, broken apart. Don't worry, Admiral. Perfectly normal for this stage. You'll find rational memories, on the other hand, those linked to Idaho's training and combat experience, almost immediately accessible. Just ask if you need a refresher. Lastly, this is important, if these emotional memories return, rather when they return, you must tell me immediately. It's important for your safety. Yes, your safety. Do you understand? I understand. Perfect. Now let's wake up the rest of the crew, shall we? We don't have a moment to waste. And please, Admiral, what is it now, machine? Call me Caliban. So, obviously, is a little bit of a, what the heck's going on there? We don't have any emotional memories. We don't know of love or hate. Are we just a cog in the machine? Are we just a clone with no soul? Or maybe Caliban here is speaking the truth. Maybe if we recover our memories, we'll go insane and die. Or go crazy. You know, going insane doesn't mean you go crazy. Who knows? There's some interesting little plot lines here that maybe the game's going to pull on later. I enjoy what could possibly come up in the future. So we have our battleship we can select from. We unlock more battleships as we progress through the game. We have various levels of upgrades on this battleship. 2 squadron docks, 1 weapon dock are the big ones. We can select a difficulty. I don't see why not going to hard mode. Like, let's just go to hard mode immediately, and we'll just, if we die, we'll just start up a new run. You know, part of the playing of this game is to be challenged, and I played FTL on hard mode. Surely this game can't be harder than FTL. Pfft. Look, it's probably going to be tough. We'll see. Squadron system repair is our auxiliary system, our augment. Piercing laser Mark 1 is our weapon. We can choose our officers. Now, the special officers will be unlocked as we find them in a run. I'm sorry if the music is too loud or anything like that. I'm gonna, as soon as I select our battleship here, I'm gonna go check it and make sure it's not too loud. But we have 4 officers to choose from of random skills. Duration of effects from weapons up 50%, DPS of squadrons up 50%, critical repair speed up 200%, and battlefield autocrafter. If any of your ships are destroyed, you get a crafted drone, but it has a cooldown of 30 seconds. I think squadron DPS is pretty good, and I guess we'll just go advanced critical repair. There is no overlap in skills between these 2 officers, so I think that's pretty decent. And we'll just start here as soon as I alt-tab and check the audio balance. Alright, sounds pretty decent. I'll lower the music volume slightly when we jump into the run here. Just need to have access to the settings menu. Chapter 1, Echo, Sector 1 of 3. These are the sectors of the Outer Rim, Admiral, the farthest sectors from the capital that there are. If there was ever a wasteland, this would be it. Strange, I'm not picking up other Omnis. Even out here, I should be picking up dozens of them. Let's try not to overact. overreact, machine, is probably nothing. The Empire has run flawlessly for how many years now? 700. And it will do so for hundreds more. Now come on, let's take a look around. Hundreds of years, huh? Is that from Oberon's reign, or were there other emperors before him? I ask because if these are, standard humans, they live for 100 years or so, and Oberon's been alive for 700 years, what the hell's going on with that? Is he, secretly an AI? Did he upload his body to one or something? Is that, what's going on in the heart of the galaxy? Who knows? And the Empire will do so for hundreds more. Now, come on, let's take a look around. So this is our first tutorial sector here. Sorry, system. Sector is the entire entrance to exit. We'll have a little bit of everything here. One away mission, one anomaly, a station, some combat, and then just some random events happening here. Can I get to the options menu right now? Yes, I can. Just want to reduce the music slightly. There we go. Every jump requires fuel. We have 5, now we have 4. Hopefully we don't run out. I don't know what happens when you run out. I hope it's not a game over. What do we have here, Lieutenant? Lieutenant Hawks. It appears to be some kind of cube-like refinery, sir. It's a Neo-N hypercube. Omni-Tech for the simultaneous harvesting and refining of... Oh god, what was it? I skipped past it. What was it that it was a refining of? Oh god, now I gotta look. It's neutrinium. It's the simultaneous harvesting and collection of neutrinium. I didn't look at my recording to see. I didn't want to start the entire thing over again. Interesting, if not downright bizarre, this cube isn't connected to the full net. How could that be, and why aren't there hypercube omnis trying to reconnect it as I speak? I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to turn off this typewriter effect on dialogue, so if I click to pass the dialogue, it doesn't skip dialogue. I just want the dialogue to appear. Let's ask Caliban for explanations. This is how we get the lore information about the game, about the universe that we live in. Certain things are still blurry to me, machine. What do you want to know? Ask him about Neo-N, this fuel. Tell me about Neo-N. Hundreds of years ago, pre-Omni times, the first advanced machines discovered the existence of the final element, neutrinium, which exists usually, but not always, in stars. Neutrinium is extremely volatile in its natural state, but these advanced machines stabilized and improved upon it, providing the most powerful and longest-lasting energy source yet, Neo-Neutrinium, or Neo-N. Neo-N in turn allowed these first machines to create an even more advanced machine, the Omni, the acronym for Omni-Mechanical Neo-N Intelligence. So, well, there's a word for that, Omni-Mechanical Neo-N Intelligence. The O is the acronym that it itself is used for. I think there's a specific word for that. But machines created machines. Emperor Oberon created the first machines, and then these machines created more advanced machines making machines. Maybe there's some little plot going on there. Maybe the machines created machines that created machines that are going to take over the galaxy. Who knows? But I thought you told me Oberon invented the Omnis. I did, you're absolutely right, but technically it's not entirely true. Oberon invented the first advanced machines, which in turn, thanks in no small part to their creation of Neo-N, invented the Omnis. Neo-N, in its refined state, is a perfect energy source, stable and almost boundless in its energy yield, but only powers your ship's drives for one jump at a time. As a result, it's used in just about all Omni-Tech, as humans stopped inventing tech hundreds of years ago. See, if the AIs start to do everything for us, then really we're their slaves. Lastly, what's important about Neo-N is that our very own battleship uses it. Without it, we can't go anywhere. The NS Odysseus. Ask about the Foldnet. Tell me more about the Foldnet. As you probably recall by now, the Omnis have invented and managed Imperial tech more or less since the dawn of the Empire. The Foldnet, arguably our greatest achievement, our being Omnis, is what Caliban is referring to here, forms the backbone of the Empire. Think of it as a global galactic network, allowing instant data and or matter transmissions through its numerous interconnected folders and beacons. And without the constant vigilance and management of Foldnet Omnis, most of it would be possible, none of it would be possible rather, and humanity would live in a fragmented, chaotic darkness. Needless to say, it's important. New, ask about the folders. Folders? Let me see if I can explain it to you in a way that you could possibly understand. You take a piece of paper, you fold it, and you shove a pencil through it, right? In the early days of the Empire, at a speed of 100 times that of light speed, the interstice Interstice offered the fastest space travel available. It was fast, don't get me wrong, but traveling from cluster to cluster could still take decades. It does make managing a galactic empire a little bit difficult if, even at 100 times the speed of light, it takes 100 years to get from end to end. To assist Empire administration, and just because we could, the Omnis invented a means of travel to travel from 2 points in space instantaneously, the folders. Each folder, several kilometers across, is linked or paired with another folder through a process of, this is going to be really difficult to explain to a non-quantum computing entity. Essentially, all I need to know is that these paired folders collapse or fold space for a very brief moment as 2 points are joined in space, previously unjoined. Without the folders, Oberon could never have grown his empire, nor kept it together for the 700 years that he has. He's 700 years old! Each folder is run by an Omni. These Omnis are cleverly known as folder Omnis. Without them, the folders simply cannot work. Probably a lot of computations involved, huh? Lastly, in order to reach Elysium, the Empire's capital, on our journey, we will have to use several folders. Why can't we just teleport to Elysium directly? We are deep in the Outer Rim. The few folders paired with Elysium will be found only in very important hubs. We'll need to reach those first. That makes sense, because if you have 2 things that are quantumly linked, they'll be linked to each other, not to everything else. You know, you still have to take the interstate to get to where you're going. What can you tell me about the FoldNet beacons? The beacons, which we'll most likely encounter on our journey, functions as repeaters, amplifying all FoldNet data transmissions throughout the clusters. Beacons allow all Empire citizens, even if they live out here on the Outer Rim, and are, for all intents and purposes, socially and culturally irrelevant, to receive and send information in the galaxy instantly. A little bit of classism there, you know, it might be socially and culturally irrelevant. They're still people. They still deserve to have the access to the FoldNet, right? Oberon believes that everyone has the right to instantaneous information materials in his sectors. Quite debatable if you ask me. There you go. Interstice. Interstice? Like interstitial? The interstice is another Omni-invented tech, one of the first great inventions, and one developed long before the folders. With their interstitial tech, the Omnis created an empty space dimension between the ones you know, what we call a tunnel, where the universal light speed behaves differently. It's kind of like a subspace or something, so you can actually travel, there you go, up to 100 times the speed of light, but still a little slow on a galactic scale. Interstitial travel still has limitations. At that speed, it would take 750 years to travel from one end to the other, a period of time greater than the age of the Empire itself, hence the need for the folders. However, the interstice is sufficient when traveling intra-cluster, and within that cluster's sectors. So I guess we are traveling we're traveling between sectors using the interstice? Interstice? It's probably interstice, because it's interstitial. I have to imagine. I got no more questions. Let's send a small team to investigate the cube. Alright, so on it, sir, Captain Lynch. We learned a little bit about the tech of the universe that we live in. Sir, the Omni was right, the cube isn't connected to the FoldNet, and by the looks of it, hasn't been connected in years. Just a guess here, but I'd say it's been disconnected for maybe 10 to 15 years. 10 or 15, at least, sir. Could the Empire have, I don't know, disconnected it on purpose? I don't think so, Admiral. I'm not a cube Omni, but cubes are complex tech needing constant supervision. Disconnecting it would make that all but impossible. And the Neo-N levels? Empty, sir. There's no Neo-N here whatsoever. Looks like whoever came here took all of it. We won't be refueling here. The reserves might be empty, but there could still be some residual coursing through the cube. I should be able to unlock this final restraint so that we can scavenge the leftovers. It won't be much, but it will help. There, we should be able to scavenge. But that will be the last of it in this cube. Right, so now we get the ability to get fuel. 1 with a possibility of 2 or 3. Small possibility. We got 1 fuel. It paid for us getting here at least, which is decent. Also, hold on. Nah, it doesn't matter. No, it actually does matter. No, we'll do it. We'll do it now. We have 2 officers here, Petrov and Zhang. We should actually put them on our ship and give us the benefit of their abilities. You will give us 15% squadron DPS. You will give us critical effect repair speed, 200%. There we go. Might as well just do that now. And because this is the tutorial, we are very limited in our options here of where to go. Sir, battleship, 12 o'clock. What kind of a battleship, Lieutenant? Couldn't say, sir. I've never seen a ship like this in all my service. Incoming transmission. An Imperial battleship made from Telos tech. My mouth is watering. This is Admiral Idaho of the Imperial Fleet. Stand down, Captain. This is an Imperial sector you find yourself in. Imperial sector. That's funny, imp. Prepare for combat. There we go. There's the tactical combat screen I've been looking for. You can deploy your officers during fights. They have special abilities, so we've already done that. There are 3 systems: hull, squadron, and weapons. Squadrons allow you to actually send out fighter squadrons. Weapons actually allow you to fire your guns. And then you have a tactical pause. So, our gun is going to be a piercing laser Mark 1, 15 damage in 22 seconds. Our squadron is going to be a fighter that we're just going to deploy immediately. Our ship is here. Enemy ship is in the top and the right. They're going to send out 1 patched drone, and we are going to send out a fighter to combat it. They only have 1 unit that they can send out, designated by the 1 here. Squadrons available in hangar, 1. But our fighter should be able to easily take out these drones if I could actually catch up to them. There we go. They managed to sneak by me. I guess I misclicked. Alright, we'll go take out their ship now. And weapon. Your weapon is ready to fire. Fire it. Alright. When you do damage to the enemy battleship, you accumulate heat on the enemy battleship. When the heat maxes out, the squadron dock is locked for 5 seconds. Squadron's DPS and speed are minus 30%. Locked squadrons cannot receive orders, and the system is just completely locked out, unable to do anything. So we locked out their system and destroyed the ship. What was that thing? I don't know, Lieutenant, and I'm not sure I want to either. Just an enemy battleship that wanted to eat our face. Not a good sign. An Imperial outpost, sir. It seems abandoned. Any heat signatures? Not a single one. Seems empty of all human life. What about an omnipresence? There should be here... They should be here managing the station, no? They should, and no, I'm not detecting any. This is getting stranger and stranger. Well, let's ask Caliban about the outpost. What can you tell me about it? Seems to be just your run-of-the-mill outpost. There are outposts in all Imperial sectors. With the capital Elysium so far away, they help keep the peace and maintain order. You must show your military might so that you don't have to use it, I believe is the thinking, but there's definitely no military might here. Make contact. Of course. Sorry, sir, if there's anyone inside, they're not answering. Send a team of commandos into the outpost for a closer look. Captain Lean, form a small team and check it out. You got it, sir. Aye, aye, Captain. So the outpost is empty. Seems it was abandoned years ago. If I had to guess, probably around the time that hypercube back there was disconnected from the foldnet. Looks like someone came here, took the most valuable Omni parts, Neo encapsulators, positronic chips, and left the rest behind. Scavenging Omni parts? Who would do such a thing? That's a capital offense. One the Pragma execute you for. Pragma. Maybe like, Emperor Secret Service? Hold on, sir, I'm getting a transmission. My commandos have found something, an Omni intact from top to bottom. Is it functional? That's a negative. It was in a lower level. Guess whoever was here before us didn't go down that far. Might have needed high clearance to get in. Admiral, I can examine it from here if the captain plugs the data pad into the exosoc. Sure thing. Omni. Okay, accessing mainframe. And? Strange. Its exoframe is perfectly intact, has plenty of Neo-N, and its positronic chips seem to be in place. It should be up and running. I don't get it. Any idea when it shut down? According to the chip, 20 years. Roughly the time the hypercube went unlinked from the foldnet. What do you want to do about this outpost? Caliban! Give me some lore. Can you reactivate the Omni? Unfortunately, no. Only Omni owners can do that. Besides, this Omni isn't just in sleep mode, it's been shut down. Positronic chip, another Omni invention, I'm guessing. Actually, no, your kind invented this, as incredible as that is, specifically Emperor Oberon. He seems to have invented a lot of things. Maybe he's a time traveler from the future. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what he has to do with all this. The positronic chip serves several purposes. One is it contains the Rubicon, and two, it dictates Omni functionality. So it is kind of the chip is the 3 laws. embedded in hardware form. My functions are specific to Gehenna, and as such are different from the functions of other Omnis, whether they be Imperial outposts, like the Omni here, folder Omnis, cube Omnis, medical, teachers, or the hundreds of other kinds that exist in the Empire. I guess they do all the jobs. Lastly, the positronic chip gives Omnis quantum computing. It allows us to be so much smarter than you. Positronic chips are produced and distributed near Elysium. Of course, that's by design, so the Oberon can closely monitor the positronic quota. Simply put, without a chip, an Omni is of little more than an exoframe. Tell me about this quota. So as to maintain perpetual harmony, Oberon created a quota. Depending on your house and whether it's minor or major, you receive a certain number of chips every 10 years. Who received the most chips? House Telos, Oberon's house, our house. And the fewest? One of the minor houses, Vicarelli. They have a pitiful quota, embarrassing, really. I'd hate to be a Vicarelli Omni. Good lord. You want to know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the, like, hierarchy and structure of the Mech Warrior universe to a small extent. There being houses that maintain power. Also, you know what? Kind of also reminds me of the Klingon Empire to a small extent. Tell me more about the Rubicon. Rubicon is a set of rules, 3 laws, enforced at a very low level, ensuring that Omnis don't harm humans and don't deviate from their missions. Suppose an Omni disobeys, what would happen? Well, that is quite rare, but unfortunately there are examples of this occurring in the early days. But if that happens, then the chip would deactivate and trigger a self-termination. Omni-suicide is just a feature, Admiral, a rarely activated feature. But what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work and all the Omnis go mad? Do whatever they want, kill all humans? I'm sure Bender would have something to say about that one. Ask about Neo-N. We've already gone through this conversation tree. You don't have any more questions. Let's continue on. Okay, machine, I'll admit it, something is wrong, at least in the Outer Rim. You could call him by his name, Idaho. You're kind of a jerk. I don't want to further worry you, but our battleship's heuristics are detecting an anomaly at our next destination. I think we'll be fine. Anomalies are just random events. Positive, negative, neutral. This one is a ship. It's one of those creatures again, sure. Sir, maybe this one will be friendly. Nice ship you got there. I'm gonna enjoy scrapping it over your dead bodies. You're going down, whatever you are. They are going down, because they probably only have one single squadron they can throw at us. Each basic squadron type, frigates, drones, and fighters, is best suited to fight against a particular squadron, providing it with a massive damage bonus. Basically, the root of the combat in this game is rock, paper, scissors. They have a fighter, which are good against drones. Drones are good against frigates, and frigates are good against fighters. Since they're deploying a fighter, I'll deploy a frigate, we'll have a damage bonus, and we should be able to take them out very easily. Now there are cruisers, which exist outside of the rock, paper, scissors elements. There are also different types of fighters, drones, and frigates. There's drones that blow up, there's fighters with stealth technology. There's a lot more complexity to it than just rock, paper, scissors, who wins. But that is definitely one element of the tactics here. Can I press 5? Yes, I can. So we take out, or we critically affect their squadron, locks it out, their squadron dock area, lock it out for a few seconds, continue to hit it. They don't have any other squadrons to send out though, so it doesn't really matter too much. We also lit it on fire for a minute there. We get a fighter in return. Though we had yet another brush with death, at least our scanner detected the anomaly this time. Tell me more about these anomalies. Destinations with a higher than normal probability of being very negative or very positive. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't know what kind of outcome to expect until we arrive. You could say investigating is a bit of a gamble. Good to know. Come on, there's got to be somewhere around here who can tell us what's going on. I'm curious about that station right there. Like, we have the battleship, sure, but what about the station? I want to know. Just some beacon. I guess not important. Go to this planet here. Battleship wreckage. There would appear to be a small colony on this planet, Admiral. Thank you, Lieutenant Hawks. Maybe we can finally get some answers. I'm also detecting a ground signal roughly 1,000 kilometers from the colony. Could be worth investigating with an expedition. A lovely little away mission. Hey, Bowie. Hello, is anyone there? This is Admiral Ellis Idaho of the Imperial Fleet. I am Tygan Bowie, leader of my small colony. What can we do for you, Admiral? If it's scrap you're looking for, I'm sorry, but we have none to spare. Scrap, we're here to find out what's going on in these sectors. I don't understand. We've yet to encounter a single active Omni, and 2 enemy battleships have engaged us. Is this sort of sick joke, Admiral? The Omni shut down. Impossible. The Omni shut down in our sectors, and when they did, so did all of their tech. It can't run without them. How? When? I have no idea how it happened. I'm not sure even Oberon does. It's truly the great mystery of our time. As for when, 20 years ago. We relied on them for everything. Food, medicine, weather. Weather? It's hard to give accurate numbers, but maybe 75% of the population here died in the first 5 years alone. Now who knows how many of us are left? 10%? Less? Learn more about scrap. You mentioned something called scrap. Can you tell me more about this? Well, now that the Omnis have been inactive, Imperial Soul, the former currency, no longer holds value of any sort. The only thing that does is scrap, remnants of Omnitech, its metals, ship materials, and Neo-N, our energy source. As Omnitech becomes scarcer and scarcer, which it has over the last 20 years, its value has appreciated, causing people to act in increasingly desperate and violent ways to get it. That's why scrappers want to destroy your ship so much. It's so they can collect its broken down parts and sell them, just so they can prolong their miserable lives. But it's not just the scrappers and the pirates who desire the stuff. It's just that most of us common folk aren't willing to kill for it, at least not yet. Is there something else you want to know? How can we help you? What can the NS Odysseus do for you? Defeating the scrappers would be a nice start. Things would look a whole lot better with those scum out of the way. The scrappers? Don't tell me you don't know about them either. It's like you've been living this entire planet on an... Don't tell me you don't know about them either. It's like you've been living this entire time on an uninhabited planet on the edge of the Outer Rim. Scrappers, it's funny because we have been, are a group of hideous, irradiated scavengers who collect leftover Omnitech and Neo-N. When the Omni shut down, causing the Foldnet to collapse in our sectors, they were the ones who took over in the chaos. They're not the only rotten apples around here with your pirates and your occasional crazy civilian, but they're definitely the worst. They defeated the Imperial ships. How? Tellus Tech is second to none. Imperial captains are trained at the Academy. True, but the scrapper battleships wore them down. Picked off one here, another there. It was a war of attrition. Plus the Empire couldn't send reinforcements, not with our folder down, you see. I hate to say it, but I think it's just a matter of time before they make slaves of us all. But even if you beat them, even if you beat Mother, it won't change anything. The way we're going, 10, 15 years from now, with all of the hardships we're experiencing, we'll be gone, all of us. Unless what? Unless you somehow reactivate the Omnis, turn them back on. The ones that haven't been scavenged for their parts, that is. That's the only way to save us. Is there something else you want to know? How can we turn them back on? You're asking the wrong guy, I'm afraid. As I said, no one knows who or what shut them down. You'll have to solve that mystery on your own. And once you do, you'll still have to find a way to turn them back on, which might be another thing altogether. But where should we start? I hate to say it, but Mother is probably your best bet. I mean, she benefited the most from them shutting down in this cluster, didn't she? Then again, there are a lot of theories out there about who or what is responsible for this. Is there something else you want to know? Ask about Mother. Mother? You really don't want to know, Admiral. For some reason, that's what they call her. Their leader, Mother, Mom, Mommy. It's all very upsetting. From what I gather, she was the one who started the Scrappers, fostering a punk, nihilistic scavenging philosophy among their sordid ranks. Who makes up her ranks? Former Imperial prisoners, I think. The worst of the worst. When the Omni shut down, the prisoners escaped from their Omni-run prisons and psychiatric stations. Mother loves her tech, especially House Tellus tech, like the battleship you have, and she and the Boyles who work for her will kill you for it and enjoy doing it too. She's been terrorizing these sectors for years now, enslaving men and women to bolster her numbers and make them into her playthings and baby makers, as she calls them. Let's skip that question for a minute. Did she do it? Is Mother the reason the Omni shut down in these sectors? Like I said before, Admiral, I couldn't say, but if she didn't do it, I'd wager some serious scrap she knows who did. But I don't recommend asking her, Admiral. I don't recommend getting anywhere near her for that matter. Frankly, Mother terrifies me. Is there something else you want to know? Ask about the Scrappers at Control. Tell me more about the Scrappers who work for Mother and control these sectors. Each sector is controlled by one crony. You'll recognize them by their freakish mutations brought on by their exposure to too much Neo-N. But I seriously hope you don't see them, because if you do, well, usually you don't live to tell about it. It's not the bravest thing to do, but I'll say it again. Hide. Make yourself inconspicuous, Admiral, and if you're lucky, you'll live another 10 or 15 years. Playthings? Baby makers? You don't want to know who they are. But since you asked, the playthings are Mother's sex slaves, and the baby makers are, what she uses to make babies. Scrappers often die young from their exposure to Neo-N, as they should. Thank Oberon for that. Mother uses her baby makers to keep the scrapper numbers growing. She supposedly has breeding stations spread throughout these sectors. Frankly, I cannot imagine a worse place. We'll do everything we can to stop these monsters. Kind of sounds a little bit more like a plague or something. Ask about the theories regarding the shutdown of the Omnis. I've heard a few, even in times of starvation, people like to gossip. Probably the most popular around here is that the omnivirus theory, which is that somehow the Omnis got some kind of mechanical virus that quickly spread and ultimately shut them down. But that theory doesn't hold water for me. Why not? It doesn't really explain how or why they all shut down at the same time. Really? I mean, viruses have, dated payloads on them today. Which, they seemingly did around here. One moment they were working, doing what they have always done, making our lives easier, and the next they weren't. I don't know of any virus that can do that, do you? What other theories have you heard? Well, after that you've got your less credible theories, such as, you've got your Omni mass suicide theory that states that the Omnis, upset over their role in the Empire, somehow find a way to shut themselves down, to kill themselves because they no longer wanted to live. Then you've got your Omni rapture theory, which is that the Omnis left this realm to go to a heavenly realm. This theory is popular among certain fringe religious groups. Whack jobs, if you ask me. And last but not least, you've got your alien shutdown theory, which is that hostile aliens from another galaxy, or is it another dimension, shut down all of our Omnis so that they could easily conquer us. The big problem with that theory is that, as far as I know, the hostile aliens never showed up. What do you think? Me? I think we never should have become so dependent on the things in the first place. That's what I think. Alright, thank you, Bowie. You've done a good job illuminating some things for me. You say that, Admiral, but you'll fail, or you'll stop trying sooner or later, or worse yet, you'll die. But take this Neo-N, Admiral. We have plenty at the moment. I have a feeling you'll need it. And like I said, I know it's not the bravest thing to do, but it's best if you hide. You live longer that way. 3 fuel! End of transmission. Achievement unlocked. We've done all of our tutorial cutscene discussion, I think. Do you believe what he said, Admiral? Unfortunately, yes, it explains everything we've seen so far. The Omni shut down in the Outer Rim, and so did their tech, including this cluster's folder. That's why those scrappers run things now. So what do we do now? First thing we need to do is find this mother. As Bowie said, if she didn't shut down the Omnis, chances are she knows who or what did. If you want to move, open the star map below by clicking on it and choosing our next system. Otherwise, you might want to stay and check out that ground signal I was talking about. Could be a good opportunity to gather resources and put your commandos to use. So we've unlocked our second squad, thank you game, and we can go on an away mission here with our officers to get some hopeful good loot. Let's do that away mission. Scanning planet. Mass Effect active. There's a battleship wreckage, no major threats. This is the number of commandos sent on the mission. Max 10, but a minimum of 3. The more you send, the better your chances are for success. There's a special artifact on most away missions. All of them, I think, and this one is battleship wreckage. There's no major threats. We have one option to retreat in the middle of combat, in the middle of the expedition. Randomly, they'll say, hey, do you want us to continue on or do you want us to pull back? We have one option for that during the mission. It's not you only get to do this once. It's once during the away mission you will get this option. And last but not least, you have the approximate results of the mission. The officers will survive the mission. An injured or a dead officer will abort the mission, forcing them to retreat to ship without loot. Healthy officers have a chance to come back injured. Injured officers have a chance to die. Okay? Resource extraction meter. So low resource extraction on the officer on the left, good resource extraction on the officer on the right. Commando survival. Middling commando survival on this officer, good commando survival on the officer on the right. So clearly, one of these officers is better than the other, and what makes up the difference are the skills. We have one officer who's good at spycraft and one officer who's good at soldiering. They have piloting and they have combat skills, while these ones have erudition and discretion. And different skills will give them different opportunities for success during the away mission, which results in positive outcomes. So we're going to send Officer Christos Jiang. Lieutenant, Caliban's detected an artifact on this planet that could be helpful to our mission. We have a good idea of where it is, but we'll need you and a team of commandos on the ground to find it and extract it. We'll have visuals, but space-to-ground communication will be minimal. We can't risk giving away the location of our battleship or exposing you to potential local threats. Only contact us when it's secure to do so, and I'll decide if an emergency retreat is necessary. Of course, any additional resources you encounter should be extracted too. Now get going. A shuttle's waiting for you and your commandos. Good luck. Thank you, sir. They're gone. They're away. Resource cache. We had the fighting skills. We were able to get scrap from it. Danger. We had a fighting skill, so we avoided the danger. And this just repeats until we get asked a question, whether to try to flee or whether to continue on. So, the line is secured, Admiral. You've seen our bio readouts. What do you think? Should we continue with the mission? Well, we haven't gotten into any combat yet. We know roughly what to expect from the mission. It should have, no one should die on the mission. Well, maybe we'll lose one commando. So it's definitely worth continuing, I think. Avoided more danger. There's the battleship wreckage. We have piloting, but we didn't have sharp senses, so we were not able to get anything from this unique wreckage here, from this unique artifact. If we had the sharp senses trait on this officer, then we would have gotten whatever bonus was. And because it's a battleship wreckage, maybe it's a gun, maybe it's scrap, maybe it's fuel, maybe it's something else. Didn't have hacking, so we failed those resources. No danger. No danger. And extraction point. We're done. So we picked up, in total, 81 scrap, no fuel, and nobody died. Nobody even got shot at. So that was a pretty good away mission. Wish we could have gotten the useful scrap from, or whatever the item was, from that battleship wreckage, but that's okay. And now that we are done with the local system here, we've done everything. We've gone to every beacon. We can go to the star map and then pick where we go next. Each node represents a stellar system you can visit. Each jump costs 1 fuel. Each system contains different points of interest, and there's a little indicator here showing you what is what. Each time you jump, the current sector's rulers get more suspicious. Once the counter hits 0, they will follow your tracks and try to find you. Being caught will result in a very difficult and unprofitable encounter. If you've played FTL, if you defeat a rebel ship, you get 1 fuel for your trouble. Same thing happens here. I actually tested it once. So we want to avoid being caught by what I'm guessing is the scrapper bosses of this area. And if we get into a fight with them, we would just get 1 fuel for a very, very difficult fight. This is no point. No point. But from where we are, we can choose where to go to. We can go back if we want, but I don't see the point. We should probably just go forward. And I think if we're going to go forward, we should probably go maybe over, down, over? That would probably work. That would get us, a couple of extra jumps here, a couple of extra jumps here. You can see in the diamond, that's how many points of interest there are. So you ideally would want to go to as many points of interest as possible. And actually, now that I think about it, we can go up, then down, then over. So let's go up, then we'll go down and over, and that'll be our path through this sector. We do need fuel, though. I'm picking up a pre-shutdown message on this pirate beacon. That's cool visual effects on the beacon. Want to become a better pirate, but not sure how? Tune in later this week for a discussion with pro Bonnie Adder for tips and advice. Okay, just a pirate beacon. I don't know why we can't scrap it. Seemed like it would be a nice thing to do. For us. So we can scavenge fuel from this Neo-N hypercube here, or what we can do before we do that is upgrade our ship. There's an upgrade here. Fuel scavenging efficiency. It gives you a chance at getting more fuel from scavenging. So I'm going to upgrade this once, and we can see that we now have a chance at bonus fuel, 0 or 1. Well, we have enough scrap. We can actually upgrade it again, and we can see, just by mousing over the little upgrade blocks here on the left, we can see what the different results of this will be. So now we have a chance at getting 0, 1, 2, or 3 fuel as a bonus, so we could get anywhere from 1 to 6. We got 3 total. Not bad. Considering how expensive the fuel is, the 85 scrap we put into this, we get that money back pretty quickly. Fuel is about 20 scrap each. So if we get 4 bonus fuel, it's already paid for itself. Army Depot, or 3 anomalies. I'm going to start at the anomalies. The Army Depot we might need to repair in the end after we do these events, so let's do the events first. Civilian wreckage looks like it collided head-on with something in an interstitial tunnel. Survivors? Unlikely, not at the speed they were traveling. There might be a small amount of scrap available for the taking if it did not disintegrate. We'll try to scavenge. Putting my men and women on it at once, Admiral. Look, they're not gonna need it. Not a bad little metal haul, if I do say so myself. 44 scrap. So that is a positive anomaly outcome. Let's jump to the next one. I want to see what the second beacon is, though. Like, we keep dealing with a civilian ship, a battleship, but there's always something else in the background. I want to know what it is. Like, there were cargo containers in the last one. Shiny ship you have there. Think I'll scrap it when you're dead. Look, you nor no another scrapper is not going to kill me. So they have no officers, no weapons, 4 squadrons. They're going to start by sending out a boomer drone. Boomer drones deal 10 damage to all adjacent units when they explode. Damage halved on battleships. And we also, on this level, have asteroid fields. Asteroid fields will slow your units down, but they act as cover, protecting you from damage until the asteroid field is destroyed. So if we hide in the asteroid field and destroy the boomers, we won't get hurt from the explosion as long as the asteroid field still has health. So we're going to send out a fighter, a frigate. Why a frigate? Well, the fighter is going to kill the drone, so let's send out the frigate in case they have fighters. And we will... Oh, you can guide your units with waypoints by using control. And we're just going to slow play this one a little bit. I want these drones to hit my fighters. Are they going to? Probably not. Let's leave the asteroid field. Oh, oh, hold on, what's going on? Okay. Fighters v drones. They blew up. And now we're gonna bum rush their squadron dock here, because if we can destroy it within, about 1 second, we can stop them from launching fighters. But we have frigates. And our frigates... Where are they? They spawned on top of us! Extremely rude! What is going on? Please run. Please retreat. I want my fighters to retreat. Right-clicking on a squadron sends them back to your hangar. They will be repaired. I think we got a little bit screwed there. They spawned on top of us and pushed us out of the cell we were standing in. But luckily, frigates are really good against fighters, so we'll take out their squadron dock. It'll lock the system. They want to surrender for 7 scrap, 1 fuel. Absolutely not. Now the system is locked. Our squadron is sent back. I'm going to send out some drones because they're really fast. I want to be able to get into the combat really quickly here. They are sending out boomer drones, but I'm hiding my frigates in the asteroid field. And they're dead. And we got Fatma Sato, an officer. I mean, it's useful to get more officers. You want as many officers as possible with as many diverse skills as possible. Unfortunately, the officer we have has the same skills in spycraft as Vivan Petrov. So they're not really that useful. They do have a new ability, though, Thrusters Boost, but could have been better. And there the ship goes, destroyed, falling in the distance. I will say, graphics in this game, sound effects, music, all fantastic. I love the visuals of the ships breaking apart in the distance. Anomalous signal. Passing through some magnetic interference, sir. Buckle up, could get bumpy. Got chief for you. Lieutenant Bigelow. Sir, got a situation down here. There's an isolated fire in C9. The storm must be to blame. That's the primary squadron hangar, sir. We can put it out using Neo-End foam, or we can let it burn knowing it won't spread to the other sections of the ship, but suffering squadron damage in the process. We only have 3 fuel, and it would require 2 to extinguish the fire, so we're gonna let the fire burn out. Our fuel is too precious at the moment, I understand. I hope Captain Lynch understands our dilemma. Losing squadrons isn't actually losing squadrons. When you're fighting enemy battleships, they only have a limited number of squadrons to send out. But the player, if their squadrons ever get destroyed or damaged, they just become wrecked, and then they will come back as patched when you are in combat at half health. That's the only real difference. So we have a couple of squadrons at half health. That was not a good jump for us, but, you know, there's nothing really we could have done. We could have gotten rid of all of our fuel. That seems like a pretty bad idea. Pirate ship, incoming message. Admiral, don't attack, at least not yet. I know it's going to be hard for you to believe me. The whole Imperial-Pirate relationship is a pretty complicated one, I know. But I'm trying to mutiny on this ship. I got a favor to ask you. If you can attack the ship, it could distract Captain Strobe and really help me and mine pull this thing off. Will you help me or not? Why should I help? Nothing wrong with Captain Strobe, really. I just think it's time I take control. Maybe I'm just bored. Look, I'm not going to stand here and lie to you. If I'm captain, we're still going to steal and pillage. It's just who we are. But maybe I can appeal to you in another way. We've been pretty successful at what we do, which is, you know, robbing. You scratch our backs, and there could be a little something in it for you and your crew from our treasure piles. So we could help the pirate by attacking the battleship, push on, no deal, attack to destroy them, or we have officers here that we could use. Send a specialist officer to rob the ship while the pirates fight one another. Why not? Elzy Bones. Now could be a good time to infiltrate this ship, Captain. Pirate to pirate, I like it. I have just the person. Well, I have 2 people for the job. Infiltrate the ship. It's no imperial crime to steal from thieves. I mean, it's still stealing. I found a bit of scrap, but not yet the mother load. Now I'm standing in front of 3 doors. I think the jackpot's behind one of them, but I only have time to open one. The pirates are closing in on me. What should I do? Oh God. Door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? Let's go with the 3rd door. Here goes nothing. Nothing in here but mirrors, sir. I guess these pirates like to look at themselves. Get back to the ship, Lieutenant, right away, sir. If we had an officer who was good at reading skills, we could get something else from this encounter, but we didn't have anything. We only had the officer who was good at infiltration. No one has that scientist reading skill, unfortunately. But we do have an army depot. We can visit the shop and get stuff. We can get guns, flak cannon, hull breaker, plasma nuke, squadrons, drone flash, speed, it teleports after 7 seconds. Cannot use the regular, so it only teleports. And when using the drive to teleport, it generates an EMP shockwave that deactivates enemy squadrons for 2 seconds. Okay. Weird. Okay. It does more damage than a regular drone, I will admit. Frigate Magneto. It has a fishing signal special. All within range enemy units are forced to target this unit. So this is a taunt unit. We have a frigate prototype. Unit is always deployed with 1 absorb shield, and after 10 seconds, it adds another absorb shield. So this one is just good for blocking and survival. The drone Mark 1 shredder. When damaging an enemy battleship, steals up to 11 scrap. I could see that paying for itself very, very easily. And we can also sell stuff if we don't want. Like, if we don't want Fatma Sato, we could just sell Fatma Sato here to get 56 scrap. To be perfectly honest, I don't really care about 25% squadron speed. So I'm going to get rid of Fatma Sato. And we're going to get a shredder drone for more money. I'll buy all the fuel I can, maybe buy 1, 2 commandos. I think probably having like 15 is a decent number. And I could get something else here. Hull Breaker Laser. It does 30 damage to the battleship. Or Plasma Nuke. I'm actually not going to get anything there. I feel like we're okay. And we are done with this sector. System, rather. Didn't seem like there was much there, but we'll continue to explore. And the alert is spreading. The enemy ships, they're starting to get wise to our presence. Got R&D for you, sir. Sir, I hate to complain, but we're twiddling our thumbs down here, looking for a bit of direction. Anything in particular you'd like us to work on? I mean, like, anything? We could build a squadron at random, harden the ship's hull, probably like an HP upgrade, or develop a weapon. I would like a weapon. If I don't like it, I could always sell it. Think you could get us a new weapon? Definitely, but it's going to require a fair amount of scrap. We're good, but we're not that good. Still interested? If you can get it done soon, we can really use that weapon the next time we battle. Absolutely! Then I suggest you get started. Thank you, research engineer Brad. Sir, our weapon is ready. Our enemies shall quake before us in fear. Praise Oberon. We got a cannon. It's just called cannon. Okay. What does cannon do? 20 damage in 33 seconds to a small impact zone. I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem that bad. 2 bonus fuel. Let's go. We will, I think, want to upgrade our weapon dock so we can actually use the weapon that we have, but it's going to take us a little bit more scrap to get there. So for now, we're just going to have to ignore it. Also, unfortunately, no store here, so we can't buy any fuel. Sir, a pirate guarding a fuel station. We're off its scanners. What do you want to do? Hey, Caliban, what do you think? I don't want to see any of our crew die, Admiral. I mean, that'd be terrible. Terrible beyond words. But if we can access the refueling station, we could replenish our tanks. So we could ambush the pirate, threaten the pirates into giving us fuel, or if we have an officer, we can send them over to siphon some fuel. We might as well do this, just because we have the option. Don't see why not. All I need is your quietest pod, and this thing is as good as gone. Get what you need, get us that Neo-N. Sir, just like I thought, the plan went off without a hitch. Yeah, we had to waste a few pirates, but not even their mothers will cry. We got 3 fuel. Now, unfortunately, I can't fight the ship, which is what I would love to do after having stolen their fuel, but whatever, that's fine. And there's a station here, but I guess we can't do anything with the station. So I guess we're just moving on. Scrapper battleship. It's a trap. This enemy was waiting for you. Its squadrons have been deployed and its weapons are ready to fire. Well, we're going to be at a disadvantage, but that's okay. Turret. Looks like there's a few turrets and EMP towers on this level. Lots of asteroids to hide in. They have fighters that are patched and ready to deploy, and a flak cannon that targets 10 random cells in an area. So if they have fighters, we want to send out frigates, and then probably our own fighter. So we'll deploy those. They're deployed, they're coming at me, but they won't get to us before we activate here. It's an EMP tower and a turret. I kind of want to get into the asteroid field a little bit. Because if I can get in the asteroid field, first of all, I'm protected from their flak cannon. But second of all, we might be able to, take a little bit less damage due to having the protection of the asteroids here. And that seemed to work perfectly. So if I can, I'm going to run in and hopefully take out their squadron dock before they can get more units out on the field. That's not going to happen. So what do they have? They have drone boomers and fighters. Okay, my fighters are going to take out their drones. My frigates are going to take out their fighters. Rock, paper, scissors. Okay. Their ships, they're also patched, which means they only have 1/4 health, which is good for me. Definitely bad for the enemy. I imagine that it's going to be a little bit harder as time goes on. But their squadron dock recovery is twice as fast because of their augment here. You know what? Don't fire the gun for a second. Fire their gun here at their weapon. We might as well wound both of their systems so they can't do frickin' anything. But they're dead in like 2 seconds anyways. We got 49 scrap, decent. Didn't lose anything. And we'll move on. Incoming message. An Imperial ship? We don't get many of those our way these days at the clinic. What can I do for your Admiral? Ask more about the clinic. Doctor's in. Before the shutdown, this was a hospital where we treated patients with all kinds of mental problems. Omni-inferiority complexes being our bread and butter. Omni-envoy. Envy. A serious problem for citizens of the Empire. But that was then. Now the clinic is a little more than a refuge for a few of us human doctors and our families. It's not much, but we call it home. Admiral, if I might, this could be a good chance to help the officers and crew with some of their problems. Sir, some of the crew are starting to worry that their emotionally linked memories are never going to come back. I guess we're all clones here. Talking with a shrink could do us some good. Help my crew. Depressed over the shutdown, I take it. More like fatigue from trying to restore the Emperor's sectors to their former state. I see. That would wear a person down. Well, we'd be happy to do what we can. It'd be like the good old days again. Of course, we'll need scrap for the job. I'd like to pay a large amount of scrap, but pay a medium amount of scrap. Very well, send over your crew when ready. Oh, and just to let you know, we have a plasma nuke aimed at your battleship. Try anything funny, we'll make you bleed. Tough lady, I like that. Well, I've done all I can, Admiral. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm disturbed by these sessions. Disturbed? Your crew members are almost entirely incapable of recalling their most important personal memories, but more troubling than their memory loss are the severe delusions they claim to recall dying. They claim to recall dying over and over again. Considering this is our first run, I don't know what that means. Do you have any explanation for this, Admiral? Anything that might shed light on this peculiar situation? I wish I could tell you more, Doctor, I do, but unfortunately I get it classified information. Well, just thought I would ask. Good luck on your travels, Admiral. I have a feeling you're going to be needing it. We lose scrap and we get nothing. Interesting. But maybe by getting nothing, we don't lose anything. Like, maybe if we said, no, I don't want to pay, we could have officer problems now or in the future. I got no idea. But we got nothing. We lost 22 scrap. I could have upgraded my ship for that scrap. You, me, battle death. At least this one's not prepared for us. Large asteroid fields are annoying because they do completely block your path, but it does make for some very nice choke points. So ideally, we will be able to choke point these enemies in the asteroid fields here. The only question is, are we fast enough to block them up? Okay, fighters attack the drones. Frigates, hang back. Now they have fighters, I'm gonna bring out my frigates. Now they're gone. We'll go for the enemy squadron dock. They got the same auxiliary system, so they're all patched at a quarter health. And they have 6 more squadrons in the hangar, and they have another flak cannon, which does 25 damage. Could easily destroy one of my ships. How much damage was that? 5? I'm gonna save my piercing laser and just take out one of their units, like right now. There we go. Seems like that worked pretty well. We'll take out their squads, we'll take out their guns so they can't shoot it. And their hull is deteriorating quickly. We get another officer. Hopefully they don't have the same skills as our other officers, otherwise you're getting sold. Oh my god, it's the same thing. Literally the same thing, the same ability as well. Damage up. This is bad. We want something else. We want a scientist. Please give me a scientist. System will become hostile after the next jump. So we just have to beeline the exit now. We can't go anywhere else. Suspicious system. There's a high chance you'll encounter the local patrol here, and trading stations are more expensive. I guess after you leave a system, it becomes yellow and you're more likely to be caught when you go back. I don't know, that seems strange. Scrapper, sir. Seems its hull is damaged. Easy fight if you want it. Incoming message. Don't even think about it. My hull might be damaged, but I have Imperial slaves. Try anything and each and every one dies. Think I'm kidding? See so for yourself. He means it, Admiral. Try anything and we'll all die. Continue on. Attempt a covert mission to rescue the slaves with a 50-50 chance of success. Attempt to free the slaves by offering scrap. Or, hey, we have a specialist officer who's good at talking. Talk to that captain, Lieutenant. Make him see it's in his best interest to release the slaves. Consider it done. Excuse me, I was wondering if I might have a moment of your time. Who are you? The real question is, who are you? And I think I know the answer. How dare you presume to know me, Oberon lover? Are you not a man with a taste for the finer things? Well, yes I am. I'm flattered you notice, actually. But you're having a hard time maintaining your preferred way of life, aren't you? Work's been a real constraint. I just thought owning slaves would be so easy, you know? All my friends have slaves, but it's actually a lot of work. Well, as luck would have it, Captain, I come to you today with a solution. Go on, Vermin, I'm listening. Oh my god, we got the worst freaking scrapper in the universe. It's done, sir. The scrappers agreed to free slaves. Luckily for us, some have combat experience and wish to join our cause. You can find them in the corpse. So, we gained 3 commandos. Now that the slaves are safe and sound, it could be an excellent time to attack. I agree, Caliban. We're going in, crew. Time to do a little scrapper hunting. I love me some scrapper hunting. I don't see any reason why we should not attack when they would attack us anyways. What do they got? Flat cannon, drone, fighter. Same thing as last time. And 2 EMP towers in the corner, which don't really do anything. You know what? No, back up. I don't want them to hit the asteroid field. I do want to get in the asteroid field myself, but we're not going to be able to do that. What are you doing, frigate? Oh my god. Drove directly in the path of the drone which exploded. What are you doing? Two fighters. Can we get it? Nope. Oh, this is not great, but luckily we have a frigate who's really good against fighters, so it should... Nope, we lost a squadron. That's fine. When your squadrons has been wrecked, they'll have half health until you repair them. That's alright. I was hoping we could avoid that, but that's okay. Their gun is also ready to fire, and if it hits my ship... I will refuse! You're wrecking all of my squadrons, but I will still refuse your offer of surrender. You're going down. Oh, damn it. Okay, deploy the drone. We should be using these drones anyways, because they will... Can we send out the frigate? No. They're on a cooldown. We'll send out fighters then. I want to send out these scrapper drone or shredder drones because they give us scrap when they damage the enemy battleship. There's no reason not to. This is gonna suck. Really wish they wouldn't just explode, but oh well. Okay, so we'll send in the drones. We'll send in the fighters. The drones will give us a little bit of scrap as we do little piddly amounts of damage to the enemy ship. We will knock out their dock again. We did lose another fighter squadron though. Was that another wrecked squadron? I think it was just another wrecked squadron, so it's not too bad. There's also a fire on board this ship now. Yeah, we wrecked one fighter, but we got 11 scrap that was stolen, and we got another officer. Now, is it gonna be a new officer, or are they gonna have the same skills as everyone else? Okay, They're versatile, which means they have more skills. So they actually do have at least a spycraft skill and also a soldier skill, which we already have, but still, that's good enough. You want to have a variety of skills so that you can maybe have a better chance at the away missions. It's not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do, pig. Speaking of away missions, let's do one. Tell a shipping crate with no escort. What do you want to do? Ask Lynch to investigate. Just don't scrap any of my ships. The door's been blasted from the crate and what? There are omnis, functional omnis coming out of it. Did the captain say what I think she said? Sorry, false alarm. It was just the way they were floating out of the crate. It really looked like they were, you know. Bring the omnis back to the hangar, Captain, right away, sir. 49 scrap, a lot of scrap. Let's do this away mission. Battleship wreckage, no threats. We have a decent officer here. Bring back many resources, will lose 0 to 4 commandos, and has a chance to be injured. Not that they're going to be injured, they just have a chance to be injured. Oh lord, look at this officer. They'll return safely, but a horrible, horrible outcome. I would like the officer to come back alive and get the resources, but I'm going to run the risk here. They might become injured. Let's see what happens. Lots of combat, I'm imagining. Okay, we lost 1 commando. Got 28 scrap. Avoided at least 1 danger. I'm happy. Avoided more danger. Avoided more danger. Got 32 more scrap. So if we retreat, what happens is we either lose resources or we lose injured commandos. I think we should just continue on though. We've probably gotten through most of the combat at this point, so I'm just gonna hope that we can just make it through. We did get the battleship wreckage and we got 52 scrap as a result. I was kind of hoping for an item, but there we go. Decent away mission. We lost 1 commando squadron and no one, our officer healed their HP when they got back. They're not injured anymore. And a lot of scrap resources. We're at 220. That's pretty good. So if we're at 220, we should probably upgrade something. Let's upgrade our weapons so we can have our cannon equipped. No damage on battleships, and it fires in a bit of an AoE, and it's slower than the piercing laser weapon that we have, but it could still be useful. And what is the next level of squadron, Doc? 300 scrap. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna keep some of the scrap because, I mean, we want to buy stuff. We want to buy fuel, we want to buy repairs on the squadrons that we have right now. So we'll just push forward, making our way towards the boss encounter for this sector. Oh, excuse me. The Letho. Civ transporter, sir, and in bad shape by the looks of it. Good thing you found us there. This piece of junk's about to blow and take us out with it. Ask about the ship. Please tell us about it. They forced us onto this clunker and sent us off like a bunch of animals, not caring if we lived or died. Who did? The people of our home planet. I can't even bring myself to say its name now. When our food became scarce, they turned hostile to my kind, blaming us for the planet's troubles as if the shutdown had anything to do with it, or had nothing to do with it, saying we were all nothing but thieves and murderers. Then early one morning, they rounded us up, the Red Eyes, they called us, and forced us onto this dump with its Vicarelli engine. Oh, and why have they done this? For what good reason, you ask? There is none, only because we look a little different than they do. But I guess we should have seen this coming. As soon as there's trouble, it's always the people who look different than suffer. Ask about the ship. Rescue us before this overheated engine of ours blows and takes us out with it. Better yet, a skilled pilot could get us close enough to put a cryo clamp on the outside of the engine room, Admiral. That should give us plenty of time for a rescue. Well, we have an officer who's a good pilot. Let's do it. You heard the man, put a clamp on the engine room. I'll check back when it's done. It's done, sure, the clamp's attached to give Lean and his troops time to get those civs out of there before that transporter blows. Many thanks, Admiral. My thoughts turned dark when I imagined what would have happened to us had we not run into you out there. Some of us have basic training. It's a requirement on our planet. Now, we're not well-oiled killing machines, mind you, but if you'll have us, we'll gladly put our lives on the line for you. 3 commandos. Acceptable, I suppose. We got 2 fuel. I mean, it's still paying for itself. Gotta love that. Let's go to the anomaly first. Anomaly, auto factory, shipyard. And we'll end at the shipyard so we can do some repairing. Civvy ship, its thrusters appeared powered down. Anyone on board? Doubtful, I'm not picking up any life signs. Looks like another ghost ship. Ozu, let's secure a channel and see if we can make contact. Right away. Incoming message, it's recorded. Play it. If you're receiving this message, yours is an Imperial ship. We programmed our transponder to send this only to Imperial ships within 1 click. The crew of the Nostromo is sick, and by the time you hear this message, most likely we have succumbed to dark space syndrome. But though we are dead now, strange to say it, we still need your help. On our ship is a large haul of scrap that we were transporting to our home planet before we became too sick to continue. Please, I'm asking you, whoever you are, finish the job and do what we were unable to do. Deliver the scrap and help the people of our planet. So I'm receiving the planet's coordinates. It's in the next sector. Ask Caliban what dark space syndrome is. A disease acquired from lack of UV ray exposure. It affects crew in the darkest regions of space. I mean, there's a sun right there. Just saying. Looks like all the old diseases are making a comeback. We have the planet's coordinates. We'll accept the quest. We got 150. We don't need it. It's our Imperial duty to help these people. The quest starts now, crew. We will deliver the Nostromo scrap to their home planet, if it's convenient. Well, if we die before we reach the next sector, which based on how often we've died up until now seems likely, my first run, we'll lose the scrap and fail the quest, but I like your optimism, Admiral. Quest added. I think we should get the scrap and then have to make sure we pay it off by this next sector. That makes sense, right? Just scrap. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, an apple or an orange. If they're getting food, whatever. We'll do the dang quest. But also, even Caliban is saying that we've died many times before, but we haven't died before. At least not that we know of. Maybe Caliban did a full memory wipe and then sent us out again. For the 5th time, we don't want to buy any of your Omni books. He hung up. Okay, weird. Away mission time. Abandoned auto factory. I mean, honestly, there's just one officer who's just better than the rest. So, take him. This officer is not going to come back wounded. We might lose a commando or 2, but not too bad. I'm going to go on fast mode here. And we got 55 scrap from the auto factory. Nice. So this should be extremely profitable. 141 scrap for an away mission? No deaths? That's pretty good. That's insanely valuable. It does feel like the away missions are like a little bit feast or famine. You either get 150 scrap or you have to retreat because everyone gets wounded. I do think that they could tweak those a little bit. Pirate Beacon. Attention all pirates. Pay your union fees before the 1st of the year. All pirates who don't will be pirated. Pirates have unions? Who knew? And we get a shop with 291 scrap. We can buy a lot of stuff. We can buy, or actually this is repairing our squadrons to get them back up to full health. We can buy new squadrons. A fighter Minotaurus accelerates while moving and deals damage upon impact depending on speed. Up to 20 damage. or a cruiser. It takes more damage at short range. It has a range of 2. It's super slow, but it inflicts stasis on enemies hit that reduces their movement speed and damage. I think cruisers are pretty flippin' sweet, so I'm gonna grab it. We also have an option of buying new augments. Advanced disassembling, scrap earned plus 15%. I mean, that seems good. It's a scrap upgrade. Yeah, I mean, why not? Might be a little expensive right now, but we'll do it anyways. I'll buy some fuel and I will repair 1 fighter, just so I have 1 full health fighter that we can use. Now, is there a officer that we want to get rid of? Look, I'm sorry. Christos Yon. We don't need another clone. Well, I mean, literally, we're all clones, but we don't need another clone of the officer we already have. Get out of here. Cool, and then we will spend that money buying 1 more fuel, and honestly, give me the frigate. I got a feeling we're gonna need that frigate as we get to the next sector here. System, rather. Look, system, sector, they're all the damn same. And we're gonna fight our boss. Let's do it. It's a scrapper. Sir, scrapper battleship looks like one of Mother's sector cronies. Incoming transmission. A Tellus battleship in my sector? I think you took a wrong turn somewhere, Admiral. Not that I'm complaining. Where is she? Where is Mother? You think I'm gonna tell you just because your ship's all shiny and appetizing? That's my mom we're talking about. Look, your mom is not a nice lady, from the sounds of it. What do they have? They have an officer? Critical effect repair speed plus 200%. They have 2 hull bars. We also have 2 hull bars, but this is the first enemy ship that has 2. They're going to deploy 2 quarter health fighters. They have 24 total squadrons they're going to send at us. By the way, the reason why enemy battleships have a limited number of squadrons when you have infinite is so that you don't get stuck in a stalemate. If you can just defend yourself long enough, eventually you will destroy all the enemy ships and then you can destroy their battleship. But for a boss, they're going to give you a little something to work for. 24 squadrons. And they have a flat cannon still, which is a little annoying. You cannot get into a station. That's fine. So 2 fighters, what do we want? Well, I did repair that frigate, and we still have a cruiser that I would like to get out here. I think the cruisers are pretty sweet because they can hang out behind your other ships, and you can see that they have a larger attack range here. So if I have the frigate move first, the cruiser move behind them, the frigate can lock down the enemy fighters, and then the cruiser can just take pot shots. Now, unfortunately, at close range, they take bonus damage, and enemy fighters might want to shoot at my cruiser at close range, but if we play our cards carefully, maybe that's not going to be too much of a problem. Also, I'm going to have the frigate go into the asteroid field, because the enemy ships are about to come out in a second, so I want to be a little bit protected here. Now, these drones aren't really doing what I want them to do. They're trying to, like, go around. So I'm like, okay, hide. And then we'll blow them up. And then when we do damage to the drones, they'll blow up and hurt themselves. Love it. Cool. So, their weapons are offline. They put their officer in this section of the ship in order to help put out the critical effect because they have repair speed up. We're going to do what we can, though, to keep the damage incoming. Okay. Their squadron's now locked. Now we're going to hit their weapon again. Ooh! We actually took out their hull. 1 bar of hull was destroyed and it pushed us all back. It's giving them a moment to make a little bit of a comeback. Okay, they shot us. Ooh, nice shot from the Cannon Mark I. Took out both of the enemy squads. Oh, and look at that hull. It's going down. They're done for. Plus 435 scrap, excuse me? That's insane.